Close your eyes and imagine the stillness of a warm night in ancient Jerusalem. The moonlight drapes over stone walls, the lamps glow in quiet courtyards, and the desert wind carries a hush across the land. The people sleep, but within the palace, a young king walks alone, his heart heavy with the weight of a crown. This is Solomon, son of David, heir to a throne, chosen to guide a nation. He is young, untested, and the kingdom he has inherited is vast, filled with both promise and challenge. And so begins his story, not with riches, not with power, but with a question whispered into the night. Solomon knew what it meant to stand in the shadow of greatness. His father David had been a warrior and a poet, a man of victories and songs. The people loved David, and now their eyes turned to Solomon, expecting the same strength, the same brilliance. But Solomon was not his father. He was quieter, gentler, a thinker more than a fighter. And so, as he stepped into the role of king, he felt a restlessness, a sense that his own strength was not enough. One night, Solomon travelled to the sacred place of Gibeon, where offerings were made to the divine. That night, in a dream, the voice of God came to him. "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." The question was vast, like a door opening into eternity. Imagine for a moment if you were given that choice. Riches, long life, victory over enemies, all the desires of the world laid before you. But Solomon's heart spoke differently. He answered, "Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong." He did not ask for gold, he did not ask for power, he asked for wisdom, and God was pleased. "Because you have asked for this," the voice replied, "and not for wealth or death to your enemies, I will give you a wise and discerning heart, and more, I will give you riches and honour, so that no king will compare to you in all your days." When Solomon awoke, the dream was alive within him. From that day forward, his words carried a depth that seemed beyond human understanding. His people saw it. They felt it. A new era was beginning. But wisdom is not just a gift. It is a responsibility. Every day, people came to Solomon with disputes, with fears, with questions that demanded judgment. And though his heart was calm, the weight was real. He knew that each decision rippled outward, shaping the lives of thousands. It was in these early days that the moment came, the test that would forever mark him as the wise king. But that, my friend, is for the next part of the story. The city of Jerusalem stirred with life. Merchants called in the marketplace, children laughed in the streets, and the sound of prayer rose from every corner. But within the palace, a hush gathered, for the people had come to their king, Solomon, seeking judgment. And so begins one of the most well-known moments of his reign, a moment that would echo across time as a symbol of wisdom. Two women were brought before Solomon, each holding the same plea. A child had died in the night, and each woman claimed the living infant as her own. Their voices rose in desperation, each swearing truth, each demanding justice. The court was tense. Who was the true mother? How could anyone know? But Solomon sat quietly, his eyes steady, his heart calm. Then he spoke. "Bring me a sword, divide the child in two, give half to one and half to the other." A gasp filled the hall. The soldiers hesitated, unsure if they had heard correctly. But before they could move, one woman cried out, "No, my lord, do not harm the child. Give him to her instead, only let him live." The other remained silent. And Solomon knew. He rose and declared, "This is the true mother, for her compassion proves her love." The child was returned, unharmed, to his rightful mother. And the people marvelled, saying, "The wisdom of God is within him to administer justice." From that day, Solomon's name spread far and wide. Leaders and wanderers came to hear his judgments, to test his insight, to learn from his words. But Solomon's wisdom was not only in dramatic judgments, it was in his patience, his ability to listen deeply, to see beyond appearances. He guided his people with fairness, building trust not through fear, but through understanding. He undertook the great work of building the temple, a sacred place of worship, a house of peace. He organized his kingdom with order, prosperity, and harmony, and through it all his words became proverbs, small jewels of wisdom that sparkled with eternal truth. He taught that wisdom was more precious than gold, that a gentle word could turn away wrath, and that pride often led to downfall. Better a little with peace of mind than great wealth with turmoil. A gentle tongue is a tree of life. Wisdom lights the path, but folly stumbles in darkness. His words carried the power of kings, yet also the softness of a teacher. Years passed, and Solomon's reign grew. His kingdom flourished, his halls filled with wealth, and his wisdom drew travellers from distant lands. Yet, in the quiet moments of his later years, Solomon turned inward. He looked at life not only as a king, but as a man, reflecting on what endures and what fades. Solomon's words became collections of proverbs, each a lantern to light the path of those who came after him. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. These sayings were short, but their depth was endless. Each proverb carried the weight of a life lived with reflection, reminding people that wisdom was not hidden in palaces, but in choices made each day. But Solomon also wrote words of melancholy beauty collected in Ecclesiastes. Here he spoke not as a king, but as a seeker. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. He had tasted wealth, power, and honour, yet he saw their impermanence. He reflected that life was fleeting, that joy and sorrow, gain and loss, all passed like smoke. Yet within this truth he found peace. If all is passing, then one should live simply, with gratitude for each moment. There is a time for everything, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. These words remind us that rhythm governs all things, that change is not to be feared, but embraced. And so, Solomon's final lesson is this. Wisdom is not about knowing everything, it is about seeing clearly. It is about living in balance, choosing peace, and remembering that true riches are not measured in gold, but in understanding. As you rest tonight, let Solomon's wisdom be a pillow for your mind. Imagine the king, old and thoughtful, sitting beneath the stars of Jerusalem, whispering his proverbs into the night. Imagine his calm voice reminding you, better is wisdom than weapons of war. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. As you rest tonight, let Solomon's wisdom be a pillow for your mind. Imagine the king, old and thoughtful, sitting beneath the stars of Jerusalem, whispering his proverbs into the night. Imagine his calm voice reminding you, better is wisdom than weapons of war. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Now let those words soften your heart. Whatever burdens you carried today, let them go. Whatever worries await tomorrow, let them wait. Tonight is a time for rest, for peace, for trust that wisdom itself watches over you. Like Solomon, you can see clearly. You can choose calm over chaos, peace over pride, love over fear. Drift now into dreams, carrying the eternal light of wisdom within you.